Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is Michelle, and who's here with me?
It's JD!
It's JD. It's always JD. It's
Michelle
always Michelle.
In review. Michelle in review. Michelle in review.
I like to chant along, but I also am hyper aware when I listen back to it of like just the very microsecond difference. So that's why I just do it under my breath now. Because I'm like, oh, they're not perfectly synced.
There are some places where they do that on purpose. They call it a chorusing effect.
Ew. No. Nuh-uh. I don't like choruses. I only like verses and hooks and but choruses can fuck right off. I like my song to be a never-ending story with no repetition.
Thanks for joining us. This is the end of the show.
Oh, yeah, that's your breaking point. That's the thing that you're like, no more.
That's the one. No more. This is ridiculous. Knock it off.
Yep.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the show. It's We Watch Shudder. What are we doing today, Michelle?
We're talking about movies that we watched in June. I know it's a little bit until July, but listen up. Death Stranding 2 has not been 100%ed by me. You are lucky I'm here. You're welcome.
Oh, okay.
That's for the audience, not you. You know that you should be grateful already. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah. So if it's your first time tuning in, most of our episodes we talk about one movie. This time we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We like to take a moment and catch up on everything that we didn't get to talk about on the show. Talk about a bunch of stuff that we think's cool. Talk about how Michelle is a crazy person who puts entirely too much pressure on herself to perform and do a lot of things. For example, she usually attempts to consume anywhere from, what is a minimum of 60 pieces of media. Have I finally remembered?
Yep, 60 is correct.
Keep in mind, I've even tried to help her on this. Michelle says 60 pieces of media. But if she watches like a series of a TV show, like if it's like 10-episode season, that's one piece. She's crazy, right? Tell her she's crazy. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's what we're here to do today.
Here's something that's going to drive you crazy.
Stuff. Oh, God.
I watched one season of Hoarders in completion, but I watched it on YouTube, so I'm not counting it.
Wait.
Yep. I'm just letting you know. If I watch it on YouTube, it doesn't count. Even if it's something that if I found it on a different streaming service, it would count. I don't know why I'm like this, but here we are.
All right. Well, again, if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Yes, we do this with no structure whatsoever. We're just talking about things.
Well, there's a bit of a structure.
I'm JD. This is Michelle. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Some of the things we're going to talk about, is there news this week or this month, Michelle?
A little bit, yeah. Because of Death Stranding 2, I did not purge the articles as intensely as I usually would at the end of the month, so I just have a couple little things here and there. This one might be a light episode.
Did you mean to say peruse?
Nope, I meant purge. I was going through all the pages, and I was eating them, and then I was throwing them up, and they don't exist anymore.
Well, so you were binging purging the news, is what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, some of the comments made on this show are the opinions of the specific host making them, or I don't know. I'm trying to say that Michelle's the one making jokes about eating disorders and not me.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about throwing up is purging. Sure. And I did not. I'm too innocent. For us to have a horror podcast, I always think of like the most innocent version of stuff. And then I realize later how it sounds to every other person. Sure.
Sorry, we were all. I was a little distracted coming into the episode, desperately trying at the last minute to figure out something that I should have figured out long before we ever hit the record button. I am on task now.
That was your idea.
Yeah, it was my fault. Everything is my fault, Michelle. Yes, just throw me to the dogs. Make everybody know that I'm the reason everything is terrible.
Okay, everybody, here's an announcement. If there's anything bad out there, blame JD.
If it's your first time tuning in, I'm sorry. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Michelle in review. Do you want to hear my numbers?
Yeah. Oh, so there's like, we're going to talk about some news. We're going to talk about newer horror films. We're going to talk about older horror films. Probably going to talk about some not horror films. Maybe talk about some books. Maybe talk about some video games. We're going to get a full picture of how insane of a person Michelle is. Now, Michelle, if you don't mind, based on that, what do your numbers look like for June?
Yeah. So, like I said, my normal number that I like to hit is 60. In June, I actually tried to cut back. I went outside a bunch. I went on adventures. I went to a friendship festival in my hometown. We went to the lake for a day. I just left my house a lot because it was June and I thought that I deserved that. So I was like, hey, I'm not consuming that much at all. And then, as what happens every single year or every single month, as I look at the list and go, oh, I did consume a lot more stuff than I thought I was, because while I'm doing that stuff, I'm, listening to audiobooks. I'm watching stuff on my phone, in the car, not while driving. I'm the passenger. I hate driving. I do it, but I hate it. That's for another episode. But I still consume a lot of stuff. So my numbers for June, despite trying to take it easy, 55 total things. Of that, 35 movies. That is a very small amount given that number. That ratio, like 60% movies, 16 miniseries or TV show seasons. I don't even remember what I watched in June that would add up. I could go look. I could. And 4 books. There's still several books that I'm in process of reading and have not finished. Just because I bounce between books based on my mood. It's a problem. So I've got like 5 books in my little reading area that I will hopefully get through, I'd say in July, but I would be lying because they're physical books and it'll take me a little bit. So 55 things total.
So, how many episodes of those TV? Here's what I want to know, Michelle, is how can you not, how can I trust that your numbers on the number of seasons or of a TV series you watched, how can I know those numbers are accurate if you can't tell me what those shows were?
Oh, I can tell you what the shows are. Hang on. I just didn't look at them specifically when I was jotting down the numbers and did not realize how disproportionate that was. Okay, show records.
Well, no, that's fine. I don't need to know what they are. It's just the way you had mentioned it.
I was curious.
Like, I thought you were just like, oh God, how did I watch shows that I don't...
These are legit things. There's anything from, well, we'll wait on that one because I'm going to talk about it. Like, I watched The Rehearsal season 2.
What's that?
It is Nathan for you, Nathan Fielder.
Who?
He has, oh my God, you've never heard of Nathan for You? It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my whole life. It's a guy named Nathan, and he is very deadpan and very autistic, and he tries to give advice to other people regarding social situations or problems they're having in their life. And The Rehearsal is all about, he devotes a season to rehearsing complicated situations to prepare those people for it. And it's very silly.
Okay.
But I watched a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of mini-series, like main documentaries, or like Constellation on Apple. There's only 1 season, so I finally got around to watching that. So yeah, these are legit entries. I'm surprised. Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at information about this Nathan for You, and it's also this show is like 15 years old.
Yeah, that's why I'm surprised you've never heard of it.
That's why I'm surprised you're watching it.
Oh, I'm not watching. I'm watching The Rehearsal, which is his new show.
Oh. Okay, well,
but people
never
know
mind.
Nathan Fielder because of Nathan for You. And the curse.
I should probably pay attention to my co-host instead of trying to figure out what I should do is let you answer the questions instead of trying to answer them while you're answering them.
Yeah, but if you start Googling it, then maybe I don't have to say I'm a dumbass who doesn't know the answer to your questions sometimes. So it's much better for me if you just Google, because then I can't admit my own ignorance.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm lost now. I'm completely lost.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Should we get into this month's releases that I am looking forward to in July?
Are we saving news for the end for a reason?
No, we always do this month's releases and then news.
Oh, it's new releases. Things that you're looking. Every time you say that, I think you said Are we talking about the new movies that I saw? And you're talking about the new movies that are still to come? Yes, please, let's do that.
Correct. July releases. So, first on the list, I do these in chronological order. You're welcome. This one actually, I think, dropped on Tubi today. But for the sake of being authentic, I have not watched it yet. It is Please Don't Feed the Children. Essentially, there is a bunch of orphans who are traveling around, and there's some sort of virus or plague or something that takes out the entire adult population or the majority, and so they try to find shelter in a house which contains a woman, an adult woman, important, and I don't know the shenanigans that are gonna happen, but I've heard good stuff from people who I think like saw this just in a bunch of interviews that I had read from people who got to see it before it was available, and it just sounds like a real good fun time. And I watched the trailer. I've started watching trailers again.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Sorry, drinking water. Making some squelches over here, and that bottle was super loud. Yeah, that's
some people who are dying right now at those noises.
No, they have to subscribe to the OnlyFans, the We Watch Shutter OnlyFans, where it's just us drinking water audibly. You hear the crinkle of that water bottle. Ow. Okay, I sprayed water everywhere. Anyway, that movie sounds good. Please don't feed the children.
I actually, as soon as you mentioned Tubi, I hopped over there, and lo and behold, it was the first thing on my landing page, so it is now on my list. Thank you for the nod.
Yes, awesome. Next, July 8th. I don't know where this is getting released. I have not figured it out yet. On the 8th, I will be doing some scouring. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival, and I have been very, very excited for this movie. It is called Else. E-L-S-E. The IMDb description says, a romance blossoms between an introvert and a confident woman, but their relationship faces a threat when a strange epidemic causes the infected to merge with their surroundings, trapping the couple in a shape-shifting nightmare. The images on the IMDb page are very striking and very intriguing, and the trailer makes this seem like a fever dream, so I have been incredibly excited to check this out. There's also I think it was 18-minute long short from 2007 by the director Thibault somebody, I can tell you in 2 minutes. Thibault Emin. E-M-I-N. They had a short from 2007 of the same name that I cannot find, but I also have not tried very hard. So if somebody out there knows where to watch that, please let me know, because these images look wild, and I am really looking forward. That's probably the thing that I want to see more than anything else in July, so I'll be scouring the webs to find it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first I've ever even heard of such a thing. But I was just looking around at some details, and I tell you, the first promo image that pops up looks kind of weird and right up my alley. So it's let's see, Fandor is where it's gonna be streaming.
I do not have a Fandor.
Yeah,
isn't that one of the expensive ones, like Stars?
It's the Cineverse exclusive. It's their platform or whatever. Oh, well, no, it says all digital platforms. I bet it's going to be VOD. When they say all digital platforms, that'd be my guess. Yeah, it says set for July 8th streaming launch via Cineverse's Fandor streaming service and all digital platforms.
Perfect. Then I will be renting that on Prime on the 8th. I'll even take a break from Death Stranding 2 on the
Will you? You'll probably just keep playing while you watch the movie.
You know, I've done that a lot in the last week, but that one, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to watch it. It looks beautiful.
Are you taking the break in honor of the movie or out of respect for the game?
In honor of the movie, actually. Okay. The game can wait. It is so much longer than I thought it would be. I just reached the 75% mark, and I have been playing it constantly for a week and a half straight. It's a very big game. I was not prepared. Also, I do have to 100% it, so it's taken me a very, very long time to drive back and forth delivering packages to people who do not care about me. So, at this point, I'm kind of on autopilot. Anyway, enough about Death Stranding 2. On to my next thing. July 10th. It's a Netflix release. It's very rare that I get hyped about a Netflix release, but this just sounds like my cup of tea. It's called Brick. A couple whose apartment building is suddenly surrounded by a mysterious brick wall must work with their neighbors to find a way out. The image from IMDb looks cool. It sounds like it's going to be a weird sci-fi sort of thing. There is a movie that I am now looking up the name of because I know I don't have it right. No, I remember what it is. There's a movie that's kind of like a similar vibe that I really like from 2013 called Coherence. I kept trying to say Convergence, and I knew that was wrong. But that's one where like people are just trapped in a weird situation and talking about it. And like Cube, that's another movie where they're stuck in a weird situation talking about it. I'm hoping to see some people stuck in a weird situation talking about it. That's my kind of thing. Give me some brick. I'll take it.
Why do I recognize this name of this dude who made Brick? Philip Koch. Why do I recognize?
I don't know.
Well, I don't recognize it from any of his other credits, so it must just be similar to another name that I'm thinking of. But I saw that name and I was like, why do I know who this guy is? Anyway, no. All of a sudden a weird brick wall shows up and they got to figure out what the shit's going on. It sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Yep. I agree.
Some weird shit happens and we got to figure it out. Yep.
Yeah. Give me some weird shit. I want to watch people figure out weird shit. I'm so tired of movies where they're just figuring out normal things. Give me some weird shit. A movie where your spouse is cheating on you, you grieving the death of a loved one, boring. Put some bricks around your house. Make it exciting. A funeral where you suddenly go to leave the funeral home and oops, all bricks. I would watch that. I watch the shit out of that. Bunch of grieving people now stuck with their feelings. Sounds like a nightmare. I don't want to confront my nightmares or my feelings.
Yeah, sounds like a real good time. I remember Marcus Koch, different first name, same last name. He's the fellow who made that movie 100 Tears that I talked about a while back that reminded me so much of Terrifier.
Oh, yes, and I still have not watched it.
Well, you should. Anyway. It doesn't matter why it was familiar though, but you did start between the weird French movie about people getting merged into their into their background, and then this thing about random stuff just appearing. You're also reminding me there's like a movie coming out that I think Alison Brie is in.
Together.
Yes.
Starring her and Dave Franco.
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
it comes out in August.
Okay, because, that's like a weird sort of like, at least from the images I've seen, is like stuff getting stuck together.
Yeah, July 30th. I can officially add it to the list.
Ooh, it got bumped up.
Second.
All right.
It was originally first week of August was what I had heard. So we'll come back to that because I do these in order. But oh shit, so excited.
Honestly, when you started explaining, is it called Exile? The first one? Else. When you started explaining that, I thought for a minute that it was this Alison Brie thing, and then I was like, no, that. And then I was like, wait, are they? But it turns out it's a completely different concept entirely. It's just about things maybe getting stuck together. But
there was actually a lot of potential body horror stuff on my July list. Not all of them got highlighted because I'm just saying the ones that really interest me and will hopefully be very good as far as my tastes are concerned. But there were a bunch where I'm like, everybody got what the substance was all about. Yeah. And now we're getting tons of that.
Here's what I know about Together. Is it's got some weird body horror vibes, and the cover, the promotional image that I'm looking at on Netflix right now is two human eyeballs about a millimeter apart from each other with their eyelashes all entangled, and just looking at it is making me very, very uncomfortable, so I'm gonna stop.
Yes. Well, you know what? We'll talk about it. July 30th, Together.
Yes.
Alison Brie and Dave Franco. I'm so glad that you happened to mention it because this is one of the movies I've been most excited for in general since I heard about it. It's getting wide theatrical release. I will be going to see that. It's a couple that are having marital problems, and essentially they'll get through it together. Literally, because they start merging together. I don't understand the how or the why. Again, put some people in a weird situation. Let them morph together, and in the meantime, their house is surrounded by brick. That sounds great. Combine all these movies into one big old movie, and then you know what? Throw some children in there. Don't feed the children. See? Perfect. We've got
Eat the children.
Mashup. Well, let them merge and then figure out this brick situation.
And then eat them.
And then eat them. Eat the children, you guys. I'm currently watching Yellow Jackets again, so that's very funny timing. It is a cannibal month. We'll come back to that. Yellow Jackets is on my list. But
did you just spoil for me that they eat each other in Yellow Jackets? Thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that.
That is episode 1.
Well, some of us haven't seen episode 1, Michelle. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
some
if you
of us
don't know
haven't seen
that, there's so much more.
Hey, Michelle, the Titanic sinks.
That it does sink. You're right. I watched the Titanic documentary. That was pretty cool. Anyway, July 11th. Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story. I believe this is getting released on Disney Plus. It is the 50-year anniversary of Jaws, so we're getting a whole documentary. They even interviewed Steven Spielberg for it, and a whole bunch of other big names are listed on the IMDb page, but it's just cool that Spielberg's there, and he's going to talk about that big old shark that we all know and love so much.
I do find myself curious how much of it is going to be similar to what we saw in Sharksploitation. I don't think it was last year, but maybe the year before, where they talk about the explosion of shark movies in the wake of Jaws, but also about like the actual impact on shark populations and that sort of thing that the movie had. I'm curious to see how far this Jaws thing on its own is going to go. Obviously, having the Spielberg interview is worth the price of admission alone, but I'm real curious to see what it's got to say.
Based on the IMDb description, I actually think you are onto something, because first off, the definitive inside story implies that there's a lot more to it, but the description says that it sparked a lasting fascination with the ocean's most misunderstood predator. So it's definitely going to be about, like, sharks are awesome. We don't have to be afraid of them, at the very least. And, like, the tagline is, the movie you know, the story you don't. But I guess we do know it, because that movie kind of fucked up the shark population.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, you're going to interview Steven Spielberg about Jaws? Sign me up. Let's watch it. But if you like shark movies and you've never seen the shark documentary Sharksploitation, that I believe is still available on Shudder, strongly recommend you see it. It's a real fucking good documentary.
5. That is a good documentary.
Yeah, it's and that's what I think, if I remember correctly, that's what we both loved so much about it, was not just how it's just this, guys, it's an exhaustive portrayal of shark movies. I found out about a couple of shark movies that were made by a Russian kid that have only been released on YouTube that are just the most ridiculous thing. But like this movie, if you want to know about shark movies, the movie is goddamn exhaustive. But then it does so much more. It's so much more than just about, I can't say enough good things about it. Sharksploitation, check it out. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm interrupting your episode.
No, this is good. This is what it's for. It's to talk about things like sharks. That Sharksploitation documentary, there's still stuff on my list that eventually I'll get around to watching, but there was so much of just like, I want to see this one, and this one, and this one, and I still have not gotten through them, because I can't just sit there and binge shark movies. I can't. I would like to, but it's not going to happen. Okay, last on my list, because we already talked about Together, July 30th. Go see it, everybody. 2 theatrical releases getting released on July 18th. So these are bigger movies, you know, very widespread, very well known. First off, we've got the I Know What You Did Last Summer remake. I really liked the original movie. Then there's additional movies, and that's all stuff that I have opinions about. But like, it was one of my favorite slasher films growing up. I think like that and Scream had a bigger impact on me than, you know, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers, all that, just because of the age difference there. The big releases when I was getting into horror were Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Do I think the movie's gonna be good? No, probably not. But am I excited to introduce my little brother to more stuff? Yes. because with all of these remakes, like Final Destination, 28 years later, those kind of movies coming out, I've been introducing him to the stuff that I really love. And so I'm excited to have him at least go watch the first one, which I think he told me he has not seen. So I'm just loving that 2025 is the year that I get my little brother into a lot of horror movies. That's pretty cool. So I know what you did last summer. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, JD.
I'm just curious why you waited so long.
Well, there's a 10-year age difference between us, so I think a big part of it is when I moved out, he was 8. And when he was of the age that he probably would have enjoyed movies starting at like 4, I was not in the house. I stayed away from my house as much as possible starting at the age of 14. Okay. So I was just very absent. And now he's a full-blown adult with disposable income. And so I pay for his movie ticket as long as he keeps bringing his popcorn bucket with the endless popcorn that and then he shares the popcorn with everybody. So I buy his ticket. He just has to provide the popcorn. That's our deal.
Wait, okay, never mind. There was a comment I was going to make, and then I lost it, so let's just move along.
Okay, perfect. The other July 18th release, finally, Eddington. Writer-director Ari Aster's newest thing. It stars Joaquin Phoenix, Pedro Pascal, and Emma Stone. Is it going to be completely different from every other film he's ever done? Probably. I like that this guy just invents a new thing every time. He could have just done hereditary horror for the rest of his life, psychological horror. But then we got Beau is Afraid, which makes you go, what? And we also got Midsommar, which is folk horror, so at least still horror. Beau is Afraid is very adjacent. This one's a Western. So this guy is just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it all. They all sound really fun. I can't pick just one. Like, if he had to pick a movie genre as a college major, he would be undecided, and he would be in college for 50 years, because he just cannot pick a favorite. And you know what? I'm all for it. He's a solid filmmaker. I like seeing him tackle these different styles. I am curious to know if he will ever settle into one, and if he does, I hope it is the psychological horror, because Hereditary is great, and I like a bunch of his shorts that fall in that category. But I'm just here for Ari Aster doing side quests for the rest of his life. It's pretty great.
If all he does... hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I got it back.
Okay.
If all he's doing anymore is side quests, are they even side quests anymore?
I imagine there's a main story that he will get to eventually if he feels like it, but I do think it's like the Yakuza series where you just do side quests that have absolutely nothing to do with fuck all going on. It's a very serious story about how you went to prison for your boss to save them, but now you're off helping a girl find a guy that took her underwear and you're beating him up, and now you have a real estate business with a chicken as your property manager. Just all these batshit things, and that's what Ari Aster's up to. He's probably got a Yakuza main storyline that's like living his life and being happy.
So you want Ari Aster to just fuck off doing shit that doesn't matter?
It's not that it doesn't matter. Side quests matter. They're just much more random than the main quest. And I feel like Beau is Afraid was definitely a side quest. That could not have been part of his main story. He could have made it. He could have not. He could have done a different side quest. Beau is Afraid is so weird.
You're not wrong about that. I am curious to see, it's a Western?
Yeah.
This is Eddington.
Yep.
I don't know. That's all I can say about it. I saw Hereditary and I was blown away, and then I saw Midsommar and I was even blown away again. And then I saw Beau is Afraid and I was like, huh. Okay. Huh. And then another, all right. So I'm definitely curious to see what Eddington is all about. I do need to go back and see Beau is Afraid again, because it's weird how the guy has become one of those dudes so quickly where you're just like, okay, you're going to do something fucking strange? Let's sign me up. Let's see what you got. Usually somebody's got to build a little bit more cachet before they're able to just go out and do that. And he's kind of jumped into it pretty quickly.
I like Beau is Afraid a lot more now that I've read the original script before it got, changed during production with different people having their input and improving and building upon it. I don't know. I just think it's kind of cool now where I'm like, the script is also batshit insane in different ways.
Right, but I guess what my response to things like that, though, is if I have to go and read some tertiary material to get something out of it, am I really enjoying the movie?
Probably not, but I already enjoyed the movie. I'm just saying I have a greater appreciation after reading the original script.
That's fair.
It was one of those things where, like, I don't know what the fuck I just watched. I mean, I get it, but what the fuck did I just watch? And there were a couple things that, like, I enjoyed it, and that's why I was curious and wanted to dig in more. And it kind of explained a couple things. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay, should we get onto my mini news section? Not a whole lot of things, because again, did not do all the reading of the horror sites because Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, let's get on to
watched anything.
Let's get on to whatever you want to get onto.
Yeah, so Fantasia Fest lineup, there are some things I want to talk about. One of them is Takashi Miike. He has 3 things, and JD made some faces.
No, go ahead.
Now I'm curious. One of them I've mentioned in a previous Michelle in the review. I think it was actually May, maybe April. But he has 3 things entered. One of them is Night of the Living Cats, which is a group of people, or not group of people. There's a plague where anybody who pets a cat becomes a cat. Sounds great. And then his other 2 are Blazing Fists and Sham. I know nothing about them. What I do know is that Miike made a lot of stuff, and I'm looking forward to watching them because JD has gotten me very much hooked on Takashi Miike. I recently watched his oh my god, my objection, what is it? His Phoenix Wright movie. That is a drug trip. That's something that's only built for fans of the game, which I am, but it is like a shot-for-shot remix of the remake of the game, and it's real strange. But I just love everything that man does. I've learned. I appreciate him.
The weirdest thing for me about Miike, especially in relation to you and Miike, is, like, I don't think I've seen, like, he has so much good shit, but he's so goddamn prolific that there's like a million things he's done that I haven't seen, and everything you were just talking about is stuff that I have not seen.
Well, the first 3 are just coming out on a festival.
But there's this other
Phoenix
one. What's
Wright is a video game.
Oh, okay, it's a video game.
It's a movie based on a video game. Yeah,
That's
and
fair.
it's weird. It's a real weird time. It is like people who don't know the game are not going to know what the fuck is going on.
I found a movie on Tubi that I was gonna watch just because it looked silly and weird and fun. And it's called The Great Yokai War. And then I looked at it and it's like, oh, directed by Takashi Miike, and it's like a weird fantasy monster, like almost like kaiju type movie, but it's Miike, and now I'm just like, oh man, I'm anxious. I don't know if I want to watch it or not because I don't know. It could be, that sounds like, here, look, can I be honest with you? I get the impression looking at how many fucking movies he's made in the last 20 years that just because this guy made it, like he strikes me as a guy who definitely has projects that he wants to make, but he also strikes me as a guy who probably hasn't turned down a job in a long time.
True. It's very accurate.
So it becomes like shit. Like every one of these is guesswork now, right? That first chunk of his career, it was a little bit more consistent for me,
Yeah,
but
very gory.
yeah, he's oh man. I also get weirded out because I'm just like, okay, the Miike I know is Audition and Ichi the Killer and Gozu and Visitor Q and Imprint, and then like that guy is gonna make like a weird Toho Studios Ultraman Godzilla monster type movie with fucking weird costumes and shit. Because that could be fucking awesome, but it could also be a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah. One of my favorite Miikes is actually lesser known, so I'm just going to give it a shout out because I think I watched it before we were doing Michelle in Review, As the Gods Will from 2014. It's kind of Squid Game with high school people before Squid Game was even a concept. It's just they have to survive all these games and they have to make it out of the school while doing all these weird games and not knowing the rules to any of them. And it's really fun. It's very horror comedy in the way that he do like to do. He do be doing.
He do be doing. Yeah, I was just looking. Oh my god, I haven't seen a new Miike movie. Why did I forget his name just out of nowhere? I haven't seen a new one since Sukiyaki Western Django in 2007. It's been almost 20 years since I saw a new.
Wow.
Why am I forgetting his name? Miike.
Miike.
Jesus.
You might really like Lumberjack the Monster.
I might need to have a goddamn MRI on my brain and find out what the shit is going on. What the? I just forgot.
And then watch Takashi Miike.
I just forgot the dude's name like 3 times in 30 seconds. That's embarrassing. Anyway, check out Miike if you don't know him. Just be fucking prepared. Watch Visitor Q and then come ask me for an apology.
Don't start with Visitor Q. If you do not start with Visitor Q,
don't start with it. Don't start with it. No.
Start with Audition and then work your way to Ichi the Killer. And if you can handle those, you're fine. Visitor Q is going to be fucked up in a different way. Okay. And then my other really big thing from Fantasia Fest that I'm really looking forward to is Death Does Not Exist. The French name, I'm going to butcher. La mort n'existe pas? Spot on. I don't even know how to say the director and writer's name, so we're going with Felix. I'm sorry, Felix Dufour La Perrière. I'm really bad at French. It is probably the language I am the least good at. Essentially, it is a hand-drawn animated feature that took 10 years to make. The images I've seen are beautiful. The IMDb description is as follows. Young activists attempt an armed attack that fails, leading one to abandon her comrades. A former member haunts her, exploring violence, beliefs, friendship, love against societal crises.
And it's called what?
Pretty. Death Does Not Exist.
Death Does Not Exist.
Yeah, and the artwork is beautiful. And at the very least, I'm like, I don't even care about the story. I want to know what the fuck is up with this wolf that seems to be deteriorating and made of flowers. What's that all about? I gotta go see it. I gotta know some things. Why did they all kind of match the background? All the people. What's that all about?
This is weird looking.
I told you. It looks great. Yep.
Wow.
I will tell you when it's streaming, because it's Fantasia Fest, and I don't think it's anywhere else yet. But the second it is, you will know, because I can't think of a way that I don't, at the very least, love watching that movie, even if I hate everything else about it. It looks fascinating.
Yeah.
And I like when movies have every frame just looking beautiful. And that's what that is.
If you guys haven't caught on yet by now, this is literally how I find things that I want to watch, because I don't have nearly the consuming power that Michelle has. Is I just listen to her tell me about all the shit that she's gonna watch and just look for the things that are like, oh, okay, wait, tell me the name of that one again.
Yep. And I only put things on the list that I think other people would care about, because I don't think anybody is going to care about what the fuck is it called?
Older Gods.
But Elder Gods?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, well, you're lucky I did not hear you. I can't find it on my list. Oh, HBO season 1 finale of The Virgins happens very soon, or Virgins, and it's just about adults who haven't had sex and they're dating. Like, nobody else cares about that except me. But I'm gonna be binging that in July for sure. It's a TLC show. That's gonna be a nightmare. I'm really looking forward to it. So see, I didn't put that on my list. I try to make it stuff that other people will care about too.
Fair enough.
Yep. Okay, next on my news, 2 quick things. First off, Phasmophobia horror video game is getting a film adaptation. What is that going to look like? The game is just ghost hunting. It's going into a house and trying to talk to whatever entity is in there and trying to figure out, is it a banshee? Is it a demon? Is it a ghost? And then you figure it out and you get in your little van and you fuck off to the next place. So that's all the game is. It's a very fun game, very scary, very spooky. But a film adaptation, like, there's not a lot of story there, as far as I know. I've played quite a bit of it. I'm not aware of a story. So, is it just a ghost hunting movie?
Maybe.
I'm curious. Is it going to be a ghost hunting movie where you don't know what you're hunting? And you're going to try to exorcise the demon, but then, oh fuck, no, it's something else, and now your people are dead? I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah. I do not understand how it's a film adaptation, but we'll all find out together. And then my other one, briefly mention this to JD. Blumhouse has taken over the Saw franchise from Twisted Pictures. I'm having mixed feelings about it. In case this is your first episode, Saw, I fucking love Saw. I will be going to Saw the Musical in both Fargo and Sioux Falls, because they have announced a Fargo viewing now, and the Fargo one happens before my Sioux Falls adventure, so I have to go see that one, because all my friends will know what happens in Saw the Musical before I do. So love Saw. I've seen Saw. I saw Saw. Real good. But Twisted Pictures, they've always controlled it, and Blumhouse is a little more mainstream, and I'm worried that we're going to miss some of that grittiness that I really, really love about it, where it's always kind of a little bit amateurish. It's always a little bit like, this person had a budget, and they weren't fully sure what to do with it. But I think James Wan and Jason Blue, I don't know if I said either of those names. Wan and Bloom, I think they have a good working relationship. I think there's quite a few Wan films that have been done through Blumhouse. So, maybe I'm just nervous for nothing. But I am nervous. Yeah.
I mean, there are those of us who would tell you that it's silly to be nervous about anything related to a Saw franchise, but,
And there are those of us who would be wrong, like you, because I'm going to be nervous. I'm real nervous because Saw 11 was one of the best of the series, and of the entire thing. Saw 11 is one of the best films, and now they're giving up the property. We're lucky that Saw 12 is even. No, wait, Saw 10. Wait, Saw 11 is the one that just came out, right? Now we're getting Saw 12 this year,
no.
or is it? No, is it Saw 10 came out as the most recent one, and we get Saw 11 this year? How many fucking Saws are there? I'd have to do the math in my head.
You're the one who is the fan of the franchise, and you don't even know how many films there are, Michelle?
I know. That's because there are so fucking many. It is Saw 10 is the most recent one. Saw 11... Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remembered there were 7 originally, and then I knew they went off and did their own thing for a bit, and I could have sworn that was a trilogy, but it was just 2, and then we got Saw 10. Okay, anyway, Saw 10, one of the best. Saw 11 might be one of the best. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm nervous. We barely got Saw 11. We're lucky that we are. There were a lot of problems, so maybe they did need to give it up, but I don't know. I'm scared. I don't want to ruin my favorite series. I'm being very silly when I say that because Saw kind of ruined its own franchise partway through. They're just like, you guys don't fucking care about any of these people. You just want to see people get split wide open. Yeah, you're right. That's why Saw 10 is so good, because they have an actual story that I care about for once. And I'm like, wow, this is weird. I actually give a shit about these people, and there's good traps. I'm just here for the traps.
Yeah, we know.
Here for the traps. Yeah. Okay, on to some movies that I watched in June. Not a ton, just a couple, just a handful. If my hand had 7 fingers on it, anyway, because that would cover all the movies I'm going to talk about. Horror in the after times, aka new horror, aka post-COVID. This is how our lives operate now. It's 80 in BC, but for COVID. Because life changed after that. Okay, so first off, Drop. I saw Drop. Thought it looked really fucking dumb based on the trailer. Not gonna lie. It is a woman who's out on a date, and she It starts getting drops. I don't have an iPhone. I'm an Android girl. I do have a work phone that's an iPhone, and despite being very techie, I cannot figure out how to do any of the shit on that thing, so that keeps turned off for the majority of time. But she gets drops, which is where like just a person in your vicinity can receive messages. I feel like I'm explaining this like I'm a person trying to explain it to a grandparent, but neither of us really know how iPhones work, but I know that they know a little bit less than me, and when I tell them this, I'm going to sound very smart, like, wow, this newfangled gadget, you can just send things to other people in your vicinity. Does this mean that people can just randomly get dick pics? Has that happened? If it's possible, I can guarantee it's happened. I don't know anything about iPhones, though. So she just starts getting these messages. They're like, don't tell your date. What's going on? I need you to do something. Also, I know where you live, and I will do some bad stuff to your son if you don't do what I tell you to. So it's one of those, like, somebody's caught in a situation, and they don't know how to get out of it kind of thing, like a phone booth. Y'all remember Phone Booth? That was a movie that I had to fight with people because I enjoy it and no one else does. But one of those kind of movies. And you know what? Actually very solid. They were very convincing with the tactics that they used for her to not reveal what was going on and to keep it undercover, and her little tricks to try to get out of it. It was actually very solid in a way that I did not expect. And I'm so happy about that.
Cool.
Okay, next.
I got nothing to say. I have no familiarity with the title at all.
Really? It's I think that one's actually a Blumhouse now that I think about it. It's one of the bigger production companies.
It's just drops.
It's drop, singular.
Oh, well, shit. That makes all the difference in the world.
Exactly. Now you know what it is.
If I had known it was just one singular drop, I would have been all over it. But I spent this whole time thinking it was drops.
Too. Yeah.
And I just tuned out. I was like, I don't give a shit about drops.
Yep.
Who needs more than one drop? You know who needs more than one drop? Nobody.
That's true. I once had more than one drop, and I was like, too many.
Turns
How
out,
am I gonna handle this?
Turns out it was just one drop the whole time.
Turns out. Okay.
Anyway.
I'm looking at my list and also realizing I went to the movie theater a lot, and that's partially when my, I'm going to spend less time at home consuming media, and it's because I went to the movie theater with my friends. So together we consume media, because there's quite a few things on here that I saw in theaters.
Thanks for the invites, Michelle.
I invited you to some of them, and you said fuck no, including this next one.
I know.
And sometimes you don't want to be in my group message where I just tell people I'm going to a movie, get tickets. You hate group messages. And that's the problem, is that I don't think to message everybody not in the group chat. If I might care about them coming to a movie, I go, hey, I'm last minute going to see 28 Years Later. So come with. Anyway, that's my next movie on my list. 28 Years Later. 28 Days Later is my favorite horror movie of all time. I love it. There's a lot of nostalgia there for me in a rage virus film. It sparked my love of everything virus and zombie and plague. That movie just really does it for me. I did that thing where I showed somebody the movie and it was their first time watching it, so I got very self-conscious, being like, I have built this up so far that there's no way that they're gonna like it. And so then I was picking up little things of like, oh, yeah, I guess that doesn't really work now that I actually know how movies work a little bit better. But I was 14 the first time I saw it, and I've seen it so many fucking times since. So anyway, 28 years later, I feel so weird about. Because, and I can do this without spoiling it because I have had a long time, like 2 weeks, to stew on this goddamn movie. They do a lot of things that are authentic to the first film, because there's also 28 weeks later, but there's a lot of stuff, a certain film style that I don't think we see very often, and so seeing it implemented in here, a lot of like flashy images and very quick cuts that don't have to do with the actual scene, but they're flashbacks to other things or memories or just like building upon a monologue or a musical moment or whatever. And so it's kind of jarring to see it brought back, but I do think overall I like it. It just immediately made me so aware that it was happening that it took me out. At first, it was one of those where I'm like, whoa, this is not what I expected. The story, I like significant parts of the story. I love the soundtrack. I think the band's name was Young Fathers, I think Young Fathers, but that entire soundtrack is done by one group, and I have played it a lot, but I have not looked at the artist name very much. I just got the album going, so I don't need to know. Spotify will play it for me. That is great. The camera work's great. The acting's great. And what's weird is that I think it would be a perfect movie if not for the story, which is weird. That's so weird. And it's not even that the story's bad. It does some stuff that I just don't really care about. So then it was hard for me to feel like emotionally invested. And I was like, ugh, these are some kind of stupid things that you're doing, which is true of all zombie films. They do stupid shit. That's how you wind up in that situation. There's some pretty shocking things that we haven't really seen too much in a zombie type film where I went, that might be where I draw the line. There's a couple of those, but every other element of it is great. I enjoyed watching it. I think if I just stop paying attention to the story, it would be a perfect movie. The action sequences are fucking great. The acting is great. The music could not get enough of it. There's just some really weird stuff. Either way, I'm glad it exists. It did not disappoint. It just made me feel so strange for a long list of reasons.
It's not a zombie movie.
I knew you were going to say that. They do use the word zombie in 28 Years Later, so you're wrong.
I don't care what word they use.
Well, by this point, 28 years later, they have evolved to use the word zombie. So whether you want to argue that 28 Days Later is not, this one definitely is. That's how they classify them.
Just because they call them zombies doesn't make them zombies, Michelle.
Oh my god. Never mind. I don't want to get political on here.
Look, all I'm saying is, I put a fucking duck costume on a pile of shit. Doesn't make it a duck,
That totally makes it a duck.
No, I just, I still haven't seen 28 Weeks Later. So, Michelle did finally get me to watch 28 Days Later earlier this year, and it's not bad. I didn't hate it. I was
surprised you liked it.
I still haven't gotten around to watching 28 Weeks Later, though, and have no urgency to see. I was so, and look, this is why... Look, man, you got to be careful about how you market your movie, because I don't even go out of my way to find these things anymore. But I started hearing all this shit about how, oh, we made this movie on an iPhone. No, you fucking didn't. You made this movie on about 50 iPhones with about $100,000 worth of additional professional grade gear attached to them. Your iPhone was essentially nothing more than the capture device itself. I don't know. It's such a dumb thing, but it's so off-put me about the whole thing that now my only mentality anytime I hear about the movie is oh, that fucking movie they supposedly shot on an iPhone. That's all I can think about.
One more thing about 28 Years Later that I did like about it. Like I said, my little brother, we're bonding over horror movies, and much like Final Destination Bloodlines, this one does a good job of bringing in a new group of people to like the franchise, because I don't recall if he'd only seen Days before it began. I did have some friends who watched 28 Days Later because they knew I was so hyped about this one, so they watched that and then came to see this film with me, and I just let them know, I don't know if you have to really know anything, and you don't. You can just start with 28 Years Later. You don't have to know what's going on. This is much further down the road. Everything has changed, and it's all real good.
And I could probably do that if I hadn't already seen the first one. But because I've seen the first one, now I have to see the second one before my brain will allow me to see the third one. If I hadn't seen the first one yet, I could probably just skip right to the third one and then maybe go back. But now that I've seen it, Here's the fucking boat we're in. This is your fault, Michelle. You're the one who put me here.
28 Weeks Later is a film, but it does have one of my favorite all-time openings to a movie.
That's
it
a cough.
opens really great.
That's a cough I'm not going to be able to edit out because it bleeds right
fair.
into that laugh, and holy shit.
Yeah, it's a movie. They
sure
might
is a
not be
movie.
zombies, but it definitely is a movie.
It sure is a movie.
There's a lot of stuff I like about it, but that fucking opening, it's worth watching just for the opening. They do real good jobs of openings in the 28 movies. Okay, and then my last one, also seen in a theater, Bring Her Back. It's the people who made Talk to Me. And after this, I rewatched Talk to Me. And you know what? These people know how to do practical effects and find very young actors who that is just their formula and it works. Where I'm like, how are these kids so good at doing this really horrific shit? And there's some parts in Bring Her Back I did not watch. I was looking through bits of my hands because I could not escape. And it was a little too much for me. There are some certain gore things that I don't do well with that it puts in here constantly. So I have just general fragments that keep flashing into my mind of what happens in that film. It's real squishy. It's really good. The main girl, I should have looked up her name before I started this, but she is fantastic. She's very young to do this kind of role. And now I do need to go find her name. Sally Hawkins? No, that's the other one. What is her name? Why are you so far down here, Sora Wong? The girl who plays Piper is fantastic. And this is her first big movie. At the very least, it's her first movie listed on her IMDb page. So maybe she's been in smaller things, but I don't think so. And there's one thing that, yes. Okay, I was just fact checking because it's been a while since I saw this and I wanted to make sure that I did not say this really cool thing about the movie and then I was wrong and I could not remember. Okay, so Sora Wong plays the lead girl and she was born with limited sight. And I love that she was able to get this role for a character who also has limited sight. I feel like it added a lot of authenticity where a lot of other people might, been like, I don't know, like there's just something really authentic about, where she's looking and how she's moving around that I feel like a lot of other people might have almost like played up too much. If that makes sense. Like they would have been like, oh, well, I have to have limited vision, so I'm going to act a certain way to make sure that really comes across. But she doesn't do any of that. She's just her authentic self, and she is fantastic. So I hope that she has a very long career ahead of her, because, oh my God. I think just I just lost JD. JD. Did he not want to talk about Bring Her Back? He was messing with his camera and then he was gone. Oh no. Where did he go? That's what happens. You try to talk about how great a woman in showbiz is doing and the men just tune out. Am I right, ladies? I'm going to try calling back, you guys. Let's see if this works. Is it? Oh, hey, there he is.
Michelle, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Good job.
People at home, look, guys, what happened is I completely forgot what the fuck I was doing for a minute, and I just closed my computer because I wanted to look at the stickers I had on the top of my computer and put another sticker on it. Forgetting that, no, that's going to shut your... Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm a dummy. Michelle was talking about movies. Where were we, Michelle?
Well, I'm done talking with Bring Her Back.
I'm so sorry. I feel like such a dumbass.
It's not the smartest thing you've ever done.
I just completely forgot that computer I was trying to put the new sticker on was what was currently recording. Man. Okay, yeah. Let's Bring Her Back. It's one that I very, 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 very much want to see. I haven't been able to see it yet.
Good.
But it's good?
Yeah, it's real good. You would know if you didn't hang up on me. Okay, so on to my next category.
Wow.
Unless you have anything in the after times you want to talk about.
Things in the after times. Let me pull up my list here real quick. I think everything I have to talk about myself this time around is before times, but let's just do a quick double check. Let's see. Yeah, because we talked about Ash on the show. We talked about Falling Stars on the show. Yeah, everything I got that I want to talk about is before times.
Okay, perfect. Then on to the before times. My before times list is very short.
All right.
So I got to go to a thing that JD did not get to go to because he had obligations that came up. But I saw Friday the 13th from 1980 on Jason Voorhees' birthday at a theatrical event here in Fargo. I brought a birthday cake to celebrate Jason's birthday, and it was delicious and beautiful. And then I saw Friday the 13th, and I don't remember anything about that movie, or didn't remember anything about that movie. And I had some reactions seeing it in the theater where I was like, what the fuck is going on? There's some really good deaths. There's some good deaths, but there's also the dumbest final girl in existence where I'm just like, why the fuck are you leaving your weapons on the ground so that you can cry heavier? What the fuck are you doing? Why is this the one? Why her of all of them? So it's definitely one of those, like, are you fucking kidding me? Where a lot of the horror is just like, you know, stupidity. The scariest thing is dumb people. And it's a fun movie. I see why it sparked so much love. But dear God. And Jason's just like, not there. I was really surprised by that. He's just like, not in the first movie.
Wait.
I had this memory of his mom. Spoiler, guys, from 1980, a 45-year-old movie. I had this memory that his mom was like the first part of it, and then he showed up and hacked people. That's the memory I have from my childhood. But he's just like not in the first movie. That's crazy.
Michelle, that's like a common like horror trivia trope. Like it's a joke in Scream, in the opening iconic segment of Scream.
And I had this memory that everything
is that Pamela Voorhees?
Yeah, but like everything that happens in that movie just happens in like a half hour, and then Jason shows up and starts fucking shit up. That's what I have as a memory, and it's wrong.
You know what you've seen?
The first movie and then the second right after.
No. Well, you probably saw. Like, do you remember Jason showing up and fucking shit up in a hockey mask or in the paper bag?
Hockey mask.
Okay, probably what you saw, because they were notorious for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. Like, this is part of why we have the whole Evil Dead 2 thing, right? Because they wanted them. They have extended recaps at the beginning of each of the first several. So I wonder if that's maybe what you saw, is like an extended recap leading into either part 2 or part 3.
And that is totally possible. I feel like as I'm watching a lot of stuff where I'm like, yeah, I've definitely seen this when I was a kid because there's so much obvious stuff. I'm like, have I ever seen this fucking movie? But it's also possible I lost a lot of my memories in 2008 when I broke my brain. And there are a lot of things that I knew for a fact I have seen or read, and I did get to experience them for the first time afterwards. So it's possible this is in that category too. I don't know. Either way, I was like, what the fuck is going on? This lady is dumb, and where's Jason?
Yeah.
He's not there. He's just not there.
I fortunately have been able to see, obviously not just Friday the 13th, but I've seen the original Friday the 13th in a theater a bunch of times. They bring it back around Halloween just about every year as part of the horror classics series there at our local theaters. But I'm glad you got a chance to see it that way, because, I mean, look, you're right. The first one is just like, you know, for a movie that is so prototypical and seminal to the 80s slasher explosion and a lot of the tropes that would come in its wake. Man, their final girl was, she was not the hero survivor that that we have come to know and love. That's for sure.
Yeah, she's the final girl by luck, not by skill.
she's Well, she's
She
the
did not
she's
deserve
she's
to live.
she's the. I think what we've found is the delineation between a final girl and a survivor girl.
True. Yeah,
She
happens to be
survived,
the last
but-
person. Yeah.
Yeah, she just happened to survive.
Oh man.
Although as she does cut the lady's head off with, spoiler alert, chops off Mama Voorhees' head with the machete.
Yep.
You know, she does get
I
it
think that
done in
was
the
a luck
end, I
thing
guess.
too. She was not expecting.
Oh,
to
sure.
do that.
She was
surprised
just
it fell.
flailing she was just flailing in terror and
flailing.
happened to get a good lucky shot.
Yeah. After watching
Friday the 13th Part 2, that's the one. That one to me is the one.
I'm tempted to go watch that one and see if I have any memory of that because I know I've
That's
seen
Baghead
these
Jason.
movies. Baghead Jason, that's your favorite.
Yeah.
So after watching that, I had to go watch my favorite Jason film, which of course is Jason X from 2001.
Yes.
Fucking love Jason X, and I had to
Second
you
best
know,
Friday the 13th film, yes.
Yes, after part 2, is that your
Yes.
argument?
Yes.
My other favorite Jason film is very controversial because it is Freddy versus Jason, but that's because I love Freddy Krueger. So if you add Freddy Krueger to the mix of anything, it's going to bump it up a couple points for me. And Freddy versus Jason is like dumb as hell in a very aware way where they stay true to like, we know this is so fucking stupid, but you're going to like it anyway. And I do. I really do.
Okay. So we know that Jason X is your favorite Friday the 13th.
Yep.
And a worthy selection. Fuck anybody who says otherwise. It's one of the unironically greatest horror comedies I've ever seen in my life. It's so
It's
fucking
great.
good.
The way Jason morphs in that one, he becomes really
Yeah.
cool.
Like there are let's just take this diversion for a minute as long as we're on it. Jason X is a movie that happened because we had gone through these. Jason X to me is in a way almost deconstructing cheesy slasher like sequel, like in a similar way to like what Scream did for more serious slasher films, right? More aggressive and violent slasher films. I feel like, but not like outwardly, right? Like everybody who made Jason X knew exactly what they were doing. They knew this isn't just another schlock B slasher film. This is a deliberate send up and homage to that sort of thing, and it's so goddamn funny. I mean, look, it basically steals the entire plot of Aliens. It's Aliens, except it's Jason instead of a xenomorph. We all know that. It's fine. It's so goddamn funny. The characters are these beautiful, like ridiculously painted caricatures of stereotypes. It just works for me. I fucking love that movie, and I think it gets way too much goddamn hate, and I'm glad that you are a person who's willing to say that it's your favorite one, because it's one of my favorite ones too.
I
But
love it.
to get to the point then of where I was going, so you said that was your favorite, and then Freddy versus Jason is your second because you really dig on Freddy. So now I have to know, what is your favorite Freddy, and where does Freddy versus Jason rank overall on the Freddy scale? It's number 2 on the Jason scale. Where is it for you on the Freddy scale?
I like the first Nightmare.
The very first one?
Yeah, and then the one where they are in the hospital or asylum. It's been a long time since I saw that one. Dream Warriors? Is that
3.
one Dream Warriors?
Yeah.
And then probably Freddy versus Jason. But it's actually been on my list to rewatch all of the Nightmares because I know I've seen the first 3. I have such vague memories of the other, was it 4? I think there's 7 of them.
Yes.
And I bought a set of them. There was like a cool collector's one that was like in a pawn shop that I went to where it has like an image that it makes when you line them all up side by side.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it
Yeah, I
looks
know what
really
you're talking about.
Yeah, so like it looks really cool, and I've been meaning to just go back and watch all of them because I don't know if I've seen all of them in their entirety or if I just have these memories of seeing them throughout pop culture, you know, just being things that people have referenced.
Yet again, I feel like Wes Craven's New Nightmare is an underappreciated entry in that franchise. First of all, it's doing meta horror 2 years or something before Scream ever happened, right? Wes is already thinking on that level. Like, what if this thing was a demon that used our movies to feed itself into our... It's so...
That's
it's such a unique...
the number 4 spot for me. I do really like it.
Yeah, it's such a unique idea that, at least for me, that alone makes it preferable to some of the later ones, you know, especially getting into like 4 and 5 and 6, which, no shade on like I know Screaming Mad George did all of the effects for, I think, number 4 and number 5. They're incredible to watch, just grotesque and disgusting and bloody and violent. But Freddy worked less for me the more quippy he became, right? The more Freddy became...
more for me.
Yeah, that's it's like the further into quippy Freddy we got, the less interested I become. And that's part of also what I appreciated about New Nightmare is New Nightmare came back because that first Friday the 3rd, or that first Nightmare on Elm Street film is like... Freddy's got a couple of small moments, but there is not a lot of intentional comedy in that film, and I think people sometimes forget that because of the reputation that the Freddy Krueger character developed over time, and that's part of what I really liked about New Nightmare was coming back to a little bit more serious. Plus, it was also right at that in a similar time to like I would have seen it right around when I saw. In the Mouth of Madness, you know, and so we're just dealing with these weird, like, meta movies where it's like, oh, the idea is it's like a movie within a movie, or something in the movie is coming out of the movie, and it's that whole sort of vibe. I really dig that film a lot.
I like that he would make me laugh while killing me. I just think that should be a thing more often. The first one's the only one I can think of that just scares me. Like, it's a very scary movie. The other ones, like, there's a lot of those moments where you go like, fuck yeah, when somebody dies.
Well, and then, of course, have you seen the Scream Queen documentary?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
I have an autograph with I forgot his name, but I have his autograph on my wall.
The part 2 guy?
Yes.
Yeah, and of course that's something where, like, I think if you have any kind of awareness and you're paying attention to anything, there are plenty of things in that movie where even somebody who wasn't looking for them would be like, oh, it's almost like he's sucking a dick or something, you know, but then, like, as you get older and more aware and you learn about different things, and then you watch that movie and you hear about that guy and everything that was going on in his life and everything they dealt with there and like what happened with him afterwards, it's like that movie exists on like I can't even fairly judge that movie in comparison to the rest of the franchise because there's just so much more going on there than I ever realized for the longest time.
In case people haven't heard of Scream Queen and what went on with part 2, right? That one's part 2?
Yep.
Yes. It is very gay coded, and there's a whole documentary about that and what the actor playing the lead character went through and his life afterwards. It's fascinating.
And it's sad. And it's but it's if you would like to know a thing or two about, you know, familiarize yourself a little bit more with, because look, any of us who have been around it long enough immediately know horror as a genre has been queer coded basically as long as it's existed. What? Right? What? But no, it's a great documentary. If you enjoy documentary films, Scream Queen is a great documentary. It'll teach you stuff that you probably, I don't know, some of you obviously already know it, but I bet a lot of you just didn't even realize. I sure didn't. Mm-hmm. All right,
I haven't seen part 2 since I watched that documentary, and I think I might rewatch that documentary and then start going through all the nightmares. Maybe that'll be my July project for myself because I'm taking one college class and it's kicking my ass. None of my videos or my college reading count towards my list either. So keep in mind
Is that geology?
Quite a bit. Yeah, geology. I don't know what fucking types of rocks. One of the questions on the first exam was a picture of a rock, and it asked me what rock that is. I don't fucking know.
Was it feldspar?
I don't know. I don't. I still haven't gone back to review. Feldspar is just a name I remember. Yeah, there's balsam is a word I learned. They said quartz a bunch, and that one I already knew. I thought it was going to be like volcanoes. And like, I'm good at volcanoes, but in order to do volcanoes, you have to do the types of rocks and like the faults. Is it a reverse fault or a normal fault? Is it the continental crust that happens to be transformed during a continental collision? Is it an intraplate something? What about the hotspot thing where you can track the movement based on like all of that stuff? No, I thought I was just going to watch videos of things burning. So I was not prepared. I have an exam tomorrow. I'm not going to do well.
Well, yeah, not with that attitude.
No. But we're currently doing earthquakes, and that, easy. I can tell you all about. If it's like a disaster related to the earth, I got it. If it's what type of rock is this, I have no fucking clue. That's why Google exists.
Explain
the yellow rock with squiggles.
In that case, if you don't mind, just briefly for the listeners at home, explain the exponential nature of the Richter scale.
The exponential nature of it. I'm trying to think of there's a chart and it's in my head. I'm just immediately thinking there's a different way that you can measure earthquakes that is completely subjective. So it's based on like how much shaking was felt by how many people and what was the damage done and all of that. And it's not the Richter scale, and I was really fascinated by that. And then the Richter scale, they went into how that all works, but I don't remember it. I just remember the really cool subjective thing of like a few people feel it. Some lights may sway, and then like the last ones are like, and then like some people are afraid, and then everyone is terrified, buildings fall down. Like the subjective rating of earthquakes was way better than any of the metrics.
No, I just
focus and epicenter. Fascinating.
If I understand correctly, and God knows there's a very good chance that I don't. I've always been under the impression that the Richter scale, like earthquake magnitude, was like an exponential growth thing, similar to like the Scoville scale for the hotness of peppers. So like from 1 to 10 isn't like a 10 times factor. It's like 1 to 2 isn't like a double. I don't know the anyway.
Yes,
it's an exponential thing.
Is
it
10 times at each level? Yes.
Okay.
I panicked when you started asking me questions, and this is why I'm not going to do well on my quiz tomorrow.
When I said the exponential nature of the Richter scale.
Yeah, I immediately was like, I'm a fucking fail tomorrow.
I
panicked.
I think you were talking about the modified Mercalli intensity scale by chance.
That's the other one, which is often confused with the Richter scale, and people will report the Richter scale on the news, but they mean the MMI. See, I read the chapter. I just don't remember the chapter.
You're gonna do just fine tomorrow, Michelle. You're gonna do.
It's just
fine.
gonna be another quiz that's like, what's this kind of rock? I'm gonna be like, fucking, it's a pebble. I don't know.
Just say feldspar.
Feldspar for all of them. It's feldspar. Basalt.
Feldspar.
Granite.
Okay, basalt, granite.
Exactly.
That's
a rock.
Shale.
It's a fucking rock. Shale, limestone. I'm learning so many different types of rocks. I thought that it was going to be gemstones. I'm good at gemstones. I'm not good at rocks.
Oh, rocks are beautiful. I love rocks.
They're different colors. They're brown and black and gray. That's about it.
Oh,
no, I know. Don't get me sedimentary, igneous, metamorphic. I know. I get it. I've been reading the fucking work. Anyway, horror in the before times. My last thing, we ain't going to talk about it, but I rewatched Titan to see if I still don't like it, and I still don't like it.
That's good. That's all you need to say about it.
I only put it on the list because I know JD has strong feelings about that movie, and I still don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it either. I'm still not entirely convinced that it isn't transphobic. but I'm also not a trans person, so I defer that discussion to a later time.
And after rewatching it, I thought it was actually potentially pro-trans, but I still don't like it.
Really?
So I was
Maybe I need to
curious
see
on
it
the
again.
second, but I don't know. I'm like, there's some thing here, and I don't think it's deliberate, but I could not tell if it
Right.
comes across with the right or wrong message.
See, here's what sucks about it is, like, I'm interested in that element of it enough that what in the back of my head, I'm just like, look, sooner or later you're going to have to watch this fucking stupid movie again. And it's been a long time since I just openly just said this fucking stupid movie, and I just did it because it came out of my guts. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll let you watch it again and just take your word for it.
I don't want to watch it a third time.
Well, maybe I'll just take your word for it on this second watch, where you're just like, I watched it again, and I think maybe it was the other way around.
And get opinions from somebody besides me.
From random people I should definitely take my opinions from random people on the internet.
But they're going to point to certain points as examples. I like reading that kind of stuff.
Oh, I've already read plenty of that stuff in both directions. Some people see it the one way, some people see it the other way. That's the...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Here's what I know.
I don't know.
I didn't give a shit enough to look into how I felt about it more
Here's
later.
what else I know.
I did not remember the trans element of it until I rewatched it.
What I know is we've already talked about Titan enough. Let's move on.
Yes. Is that how it's pronounced?
I still haven't figured Titan. Okay. I don't know for sure.
Titan.
I'm just gonna say Titan like a goddamned American.
Perfect. Love being American right now, so that's a great choice.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
My other things, normally I would have a non-horror. Oh yeah, you have before times. I'm so not used to you having before times.
I just have one thing, but I wanted to mention it specifically. It's a movie that I saw on, I want to say Amazon Prime, if you want to go looking for it. It's called Unknown Visitor. It's a very clever sort of ultra low budget film that was shot entirely using a Ring doorbell. Literally the entire movie is just shots harvested from a Ring doorbell camera about some folks who live in this house and some stuff that starts happening at the house and some people who come to the door and some people who maybe don't come to the door, and it's kind of spooky. Is it a ghost? Is it a monster? Is it a time? I do want to make very, very clear, I will say my opinion on it is I thought a lot of the ideas in the movie and a lot of what it was trying to do were more interesting than what it actually accomplishes to me. So I can't say it's a great movie that I strongly recommend you run out and see. But if you're a fan of cleverly made films, films where somebody has taken something and been like, okay, what can I do with this, and use it in such a way as to get... I got a lot of mileage out of it without ever getting bored by the gimmick. And I think the movie itself is only like maybe 65 minutes long, which definitely
52.
helps. Yeah, it definitely helps. So yeah, I don't think it's going to blow anybody's minds, but if you like clever minimalist films, I really thought it was an interesting little bit of movie, and I wanted to mention it.
This is where we differ, because I really did not like that movie, but I appreciated them trying to do something different. I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I love found footage. Yeah, I love found footage. So if there's something found footage,
I'm not
going
to call it that.
It's... Wow. Okay. Well, anyway.
None of that footage was lost and rediscovered. That's all I'm saying.
Do you have a different definition? Found footage for me means the camera is part of the reality of the story. It is a tangible object, not just an all-seeing thing. And
yeah, they call that...
I'm sticking with my definition because it's correct.
Well, that's been called gonzo for years, Michelle. So just because that's the word you're using...
Gonzo is a Muppet. So you're confused.
Okay.
See? Words have different meanings, JD. Like gonzo. Anyway, non-horror. I replaced non-horror because I didn't have anything worthy of the list, and instead it's some TV shows, kind of, or miniseries. There's two things.
That's awesome, because I have one non-horror thing, and it is also a TV show.
Perfect. So first off, Terabytes. I backed the project. I finally sat down to watch it. It's really good. Terabytes is all about horror video games. If you're this far into the episode and you can't tell I like video games, what you doing? Did you start right here and now you know? I'm waiting for it. JD has started saying something, and then he took a bite of something, and now I'm waiting for him to say the thing. I don't know why he started interrupting and then started eating ham right afterwards.
Michelle, it's not ham, it's blue cheese, and I don't know if you could tell, Michelle, but I'm clearly having a bad ADHD day. Based on the fact that I just closed my fucking computer.
It was bizarre because I was watching it happen. Suddenly you just angle the camera all the way down at your shorts, and I was like, I got real scared if you're on a video call with a guy, but I was like, okay, this seems innocent.
Oh my God.
I was like, this seems innocent. And then you open the camera, looked at it angrily, then put it down further, and then you were gone. It was very bizarre.
I'm having an ADHD day. There's something I was gonna say.
Terabytes. Yes, it is made by the people who made that other thing.
That is what I was gonna ask you. Is that if that was the one?
In Search of Darkness. Yes.
Right.
For people who aren't familiar, In Search of Darkness just kind of goes over a bunch of horror movies. Terabytes is a 5-episode miniseries going into the history of horror video games. They had a documentary they had done a while ago, 2019, I think, called FPS, First Person Shooter. That is a ridiculously comprehensive documentary going through basically every video game that has made a mark in the first-person shooter realm and how it came to be and what it inspired. And it's so thorough, and it's one of my favorite documentaries of all time, despite being 4 hours long. So Terabytes being a 5-episode miniseries, that is essentially just building upon that, has been great. And there were a lot of video games that I added to my list, including one that I played last month called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. I did play it after mentioning it, I think, on Michelle in Review. It was real good. It's a typical point-and-click adventure, and I've just got some things on my list to play now. Yes, JD.
I do still have that on my list of things that I want to do in the near future, because I was looking at some of your stuff from it, and then I was looking at some other things, and it seems like it might be pretty good.
I think read the short story first.
Why?
Because it does build upon it in a way that I think things will get lost if you don't read the story, which is unfortunate.
Well, now I'm not going to do either one.
I know. Okay, that's fair. But the short story is my favorite short story of the same name. So.
Are there more than one short story by that name?
I knew you were going to pick up on it. As soon as I said it, I was like, I wish this was a written format, because that is not the possession of that word that I intended for it to be. But no, as far as I know, it is the one and only, and therefore my favorite story of the name I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream.
I got you.
I said it, and I knew. This is why we don't edit, so everybody else can know that sometimes words don't work the way that I think they do. But I'm aware of it. I'm always aware of my mistakes, Rue Morgou. I'm aware.
And she's always aware that I'm going to be fucking aware.
The second I said it, I was like, there's no way he's going to let that slide.
There's no way. No way.
So anyway, Terabytes is real good.
At least I'm a good old predictable basic bitch.
Captain Pedantic, here to save the day. Oh wait, no, he's just complaining about the text that was used on this menu. I don't know. Okay, then also Yellow Jacket Season 3 came out a while ago. I am finally rewatching it. I got through Seasons 1 and 2 again. Real good. I am starting Season 3 actually today. I got through 2 episodes of it while working on homework, but not really working on it. Like, the book was open, but I was watching Yellow Jackets. It's real good. It's essentially Society of the Snow plus Lord of the Flies plus a modern day thriller mystery situation. It flashes back and forth between what happened back then, and I'll give you the very basic story, even though JD says it's spoiler, but it's what you learn immediately. is that there is this team of high school girls in 1992 called the Yellow Jackets. They're a soccer team. They're going to play in nationals, and on their way to play in nationals, their plane crashes, and they are stuck in the woods for a very long time. Very, very long time. And we're flashing back and forth between that period of time when they were in the woods in 1992 and all the fuckery that happened, and the present day with these same characters, and they are being blackmailed and trying to figure out who's behind it. That's a very small part of it. It gets so much bigger. There's some supernatural stuff where you're not sure if it's actually supernatural or if people are losing their fucking minds after being in the woods for so long. There's a witchy element, JD. There's a lot of witchy stuff going on, and it is very folklore-esque. I mean, if you're going to develop a witchy culture in the woods, it's the only kind. You have to go kind of pagan-y. It's real good. I really enjoy it. It did also give me the epiphany that all my favorite shows have to do with colors or shades, because Black Mirror, White Lotus, Yellow Jackets. The only one that doesn't fit that is Severance, which is my number one favorite TV show. So I just had a realization that, oh, and Dark. Dark is another of my all-time favorites. So just all these colors and shades. Those are what I like watching.
So this Yellow Jackets thing is just like that movie Alive, only in the woods.
That's what Society of the Snow is. So yes, Society of the Snow plus Lord of the Flies.
What's Society of what?
Society of the Snow is another retelling of that Chilean soccer team, I think, that crashed, and it was a real story. So Alive is based on the real story. Society of the Snow is a Netflix remake of that same story, but a much better version.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I was like, once again, why does that name ring a bell? And I just let it go, and it's like, oh yeah, that's why.
It's the same Chilean. It's deliberately
Alive again.
based on that. They even reference, like, that is a reality in the reality of this show, where they're like, what did you do out there? Did you eat each other? Don't worry. People would forgive you like they did those other guys. It's, like, darkly funny at a lot of points. It is very dark and very funny. And Melanie Linsky is fantastic. I need everybody in this show to become gigantic stars, because Sophie Thatcher, we know from Companion and Boogeyman, something like that. We know her pretty well at this point. And Heretic, she's in that. Then we've got Ella Purnell in the Fallout series. Melanie Linsky has one of those voices I know from a lot of acting she's done, like Over the Garden Wall. Just all these people are very talented, and I hope that they all get a lot of fame and money. Yeah. Okay, what's your one non-horror TV show thing?
Oh, Mom and I started watching The Bear last week. We got through the first season in one day, and we're working our way through season 2 now. We just saw the episode that Jamie Lee Curtis did a guest appearance on, which was really fucking good. The whole show has been surprisingly good. It's something that a lot of people told me I should check out and that I would probably like, but I also get real wary because a lot of times people are like, oh, like, there are certain people who get it, but then there are a lot of people who think they understand what I do and don't like, but they don't. Right? And so I very much was anxious that a lot of people just thought this was something I was really gonna like, and then so I just avoided it for the longest time. And then Mom happened to start watching it just randomly, and it's actually really fucking good. And so, yeah, we're about halfway through the second season. I know there's 4 seasons so far, and it's still going, if I understand correctly. So, yeah, that's what we've been watching. The Bear. It's pretty damn good.
The Bear.
We just saw the episode where Carm sent Richie to the restaurant to learn how to be a maitre d', and it was pretty fucking good. Coming up on, are they gonna make the opening? Are they not gonna make the opening? I don't know, Michelle. We're gonna find out.
I already know because there's 3 seasons out now, right?
There are 4.
There are 4. Okay, I saw the first 2 and then I went, that's enough, because I'm not gonna have enough memory to continue watching it, and I don't want to recap as much as I'm going to. So it was good. I know why people love it. It just wasn't like my favorite thing. I like when people get demolished in the woods after a plane crash. That's my type of thing. Or Black Mirror. Oh my god. Sci-fi. Technology is ruining our lives. Or Severance. Oh my god. Sci-fi technology is ruining our lives. Or White Lotus. Oh my god. Rich people suck. Like, those are my kind of shows.
Well, I like those kind of shows too.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I got too many of those to watch. I have so many animes I said that I was going to watch, and I'm 2 weeks in to my commitment to watch them. Dan to Dan and Promised Neverland and one other, and I promised all my friends I would finish them in July, and I haven't even started. I'm sorry, Death Stranding 2 is a much longer game than I thought it was going to be. And I just remember that, and I filled myself with guilt.
I think the solution to all of your struggles, Michelle, is to just stop promising people things.
Even if I promise myself?
Yeah. Stop making promises to yourself if you can't keep them.
Oh, see, I was thinking maybe not keep making promises to yourself that you can't keep, but like start lying more was more my theory. Like when somebody's like, how did you feel about Dan to Dan? I'd be like, oh man, it was so good. I liked the way it was anime. Oh, Jujutsu Kaisen. That was the third one that I said I would start.
I learned the way it was anime.
Yeah, I liked the way the voice actors sounded good. I like the drawn parts. Those are my favorite parts.
You just gotta look more people right dead in the eye and be like, look, it's crapshoot that I'm ever gonna fucking watch this thing that you think I should watch.
I want to watch them. I've heard that I would love them from enough sources. Enough different sources who know different interests of mine.
But if you wanted to watch them bad enough, wouldn't you find it easier to prioritize watching them?
Prioritizing it over Death Stranding 2? No. Death Stranding 2 I want to watch more than any of those things until I'm done, which is hopefully this week because I have so much shit to do and I have put so much time and there's so much left because I have to 100% everything. I don't want to tell you how many hours I put into that game, but it's a lot.
Look, all I'm saying is then just like tell them, yeah, I'm going to watch it, but it's going to have to fucking wait.
Nobody's going to ask. I just know that I lied. And I'm not going to finish all 3 of them in July.
Well, what I'm saying is you never should have told them you were going to finish all 3 of them in July in the first place, Michelle.
I guess I didn't. I told myself.
There, now we're getting to the crux of the issue.
I have therapy on Wednesday.
Who are you letting down, Michelle? Who are you letting down? Nobody but yourself. Yeah, nobody but yourself.
And this is where my therapist goes, oh, those people who want to be so busy that they don't have free time, they feel like they're hiding from something. What are you hiding from? What are you avoiding? And I'm like, nothing.
That question
Everything's great. I love being trapped with my thoughts and nothing to do except think. It's my favorite. Anyway, literature.
Next time she asks you, that's your response is, I'm avoiding that question.
Yeah. And then she'll be like, let's talk about that. I'll be like, no.
No.
Okay, I actually have 3 books that I would like to talk about because I was reading some horror books, getting them crossed off the list. The first one, I don't know if I liked it. I'm throwing this one out there because I want to talk to other people if they've read it. The Water Cure by Sophie McIntosh. There's a secluded house. I think it's on an island because it's very secluded. I'm pretty sure it's an island. It's on the ocean, but I don't remember if they ever specify that there's ocean all around them. I started a while ago. But there's a bunch of women, and they all live there secluded because their mother is teaching them how to survive in the world, and that is to avoid the world because men out there in the world will try to kill them. And so they develop their own little society out there, and then one day some men arrive and they change the dynamic. I don't know how I feel about it, and I want to hear if somebody else read it and how they felt, because it was a book.
I guess my immediate question, and obviously don't answer this if it's severely spoilery, but you said, like, if I'm following correctly, there were these people who were trying to tell these other people this is what men will do to them. Mm-hmm. And then a bunch of men show up. Did the men actually do the things that these people said the men would do?
It would be super spoilery. cannot answer
Okay.
it.
All right. Because that
is the question from the moment that the men show up is, are these people as bad as we have been taught? That is the big question, is, are these men friendly and we've been lied to by our mother who is slightly abusive? Was she lying to us this whole time, or was she telling the truth, and through her abuse she was teaching us to be stronger?
I think in either case the rational decision is to assume everything is an awful threat and just kill them before they kill you.
Oh no. You live in modern society. How's that working out for you? How many bodies you got buried, JD?
Oh, I don't feel threatened by anything, Michelle.
Oh, okay, fair. I feel threatened by everything. I'm just constantly on the defense. There's fireworks going on outside and I jump every time.
Oh, I've gone entirely too bonkers to be afraid of anything anymore.
Oh, jealous. My other two, one of them, friend of the podcast, Jenna. Beautiful, vivacious Jenna. Beautiful, very funny, great friend Jenna. Read a book and told me that she really needs somebody to talk to about it. And that is Pen Pal by Dathan, not Nathan, Dathan Auerbach. First off, Dathan sounds like a made-up name. I just gotta get that out of the way. That was partially why I agreed to read the book. But Pen Pal is the book that they wrote, and it's about this person writing this book in the first person and telling the story of a pen pal situation from when they were in kindergarten and what has happened since then. And it jumps around. And at the very beginning of the book, it makes it very apparent that he has learned these things in the order that he's going to tell the story. So while he's saying something that actually turns out to be very ominous and very bad, as a kid in kindergarten, he did not know at the time what was going on. And it's I liked it. I think the ending actually held up. I was scared the whole book that it was not going to stick that landing, and it actually did. And that really brought up a couple points.
Cool. I've actually been finally with my new job that allows me to just sit around most of the time and get paid for not doing. I am finally, Michelle, making progress on my audiobooks.
Good.
I am finally, after having it on my phone for nearly 3 years.
Woodlands Days and Days Bewitched, or whatever it is.
No. I am. That was House of Psychotic Women, which I listened. I listened to immediately. I made it all the way through that one. Okay. Oh yeah. No, it's there's a series of 3 novels called Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu. Shut up.
I'm sorry, it's just so on brand. I was not expecting it.
Oh,
that is so on brand.
That's just where we're starting, Michelle. Is 3 books by Lois Gresh. And like I said, they're called Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu. I'm going through the first one, called The Adventure of the Deadly Dimensions. But then there's also a completely different series written by a completely different author that are also Sherlock Holmes and H.P. Lovecraft books. And I've had them long enough now but not read them that I've completely forgotten what that series is called. But there are 4 books in that series, 3 books. So I got 7 books about Sherlock Holmes and Cthulhu. They're called the Cthulhu Case Books, Sherlock Holmes and so-and-so. So there's 4 Cthulhu Case Books and 3 Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu's. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the first one, and I'm having a good time. It's nice to have stories again, like long stories. That's nice.
I like a good book.
Yeah. Lois Gresh, Sherlock Holmes versus Cthulhu. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, these are not, like, so far, it's not going to be like a blow your mind away sort of thing. Of course, I'm only 2/3 of the way through the first one. Who knows how it's going to wrap up? There's some interesting ideas presented. I will point out immediately that in one of the first chapters of the book, this is a quote directly from the writing, which I know because I listened to a guy read it. This is one that it's just stuck in my head since I heard it because it's a really well-written book. It's fine, but there's this one moment where what's written on the page and read to me is, he paused, then continued. Like, that's the sentence. That's the whole sentence, is he paused, then continued. And I feel like maybe she wants to take another stab at that even after all
He could have
this.
paused and not continued. She had
He
to
paused,
specify.
then continued. Yeah, that's usually what happens after you pause, but oh no.
But sometimes you
Something-
pause and you don't get a chance to continue.
There
I
was-
get it.
No, I get it. There's just something about
it.
that line
Yeah.
where I was just like, oh, that's the caliber of writing we're dealing with here, right? It's like, no, it's a great story. It's so far. This is about these people keep turning up dead, and there's these weird things that they look like they're made out of bones, but it's like a perfect sphere, and there's a hole in it, and when you look through the hole, the sphere is hollow, and it has symbols carved on the inside of the hollow part across from where you look through it. And there are these weird symbols, and like there's a machine that it might be alive and growing, or maybe people are just crazy. I don't know. And there's Dagon. That's the important part, is there's Dagon.
That's nice. I'm happy for you.
Wow. So Michelle gets to talk about all the cool books that she likes.
Your response to me saying pen pal was, cool, let me tell you about these books, so don't you even.
Okay, fine.
My last book that I want to talk about is actually one that is going around and pretty popular. So this one's actually kind of mainstream horror literature. Tender is the Flesh by Augustina Bazterrica. I tried. I listened to Google how to pronounce that last name. I don't think I got it right, but I tried my best. Tender is the Flesh is a book in which meat is hard to come by. So what do? You breed your own meat, even if it's human meat. And that's what they do. And it's really widespread and popular. And there's just farms of humans. And it's very graphic, talking about what goes on at these farms, how these are lesser people, and they treat them like livestock despite being human beings. And I finished the book and I felt so dirty. It's one of the most uncomfortable books I've ever read in my life, because it's full of a lot of bad people and a lot of bad things happening to people. And I think it's because I have so much compassion for animals, way more than I do humans. So when humans become treated like animals, it gets to me a lot more than if they were just like, we picked a person up off the street and ate them. Instead, they're like breeding these people for the sake of making more livestock so that they can eat just like they do with animals. And it really got to me. And I have not been able to stop thinking about it. And I see why so many people have read this and enjoyed it. I felt so uncomfortable at the end of the book, and I love that. So thank you for making me feel something, you fucked up author.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
What circumstances led to a situation where people could be raised as meat supply but not other animals?
All the other animals are extinct. Or there was a big event, like a bird flu type thing, that spread through the animals, but not the humans. So pretty much all the other animals are very hard to come by. It spread through very fast on farms and took out all that livestock. So then it wasn't immediately acceptable, but people started calling it special meat at the butcher until people just started looking the other way and it became normalized. It goes into it in a pretty convincing way of, it's not just like, we don't like eating chickens anymore. There's a big devastating thing. This is much farther in the future. It's evolved to be like this. It's completely normal. This is their reality that we're living in.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a thing that happened like last year and now it's a new thing. This is very well established, and we're learning. The guy that is the person... The person we're getting the viewpoint from, I think he's been in the industry for like 20 years. So it's long enough that there's an industry.
He's been in the people eating industry?
Yep. The butchering industry.
Oh, the people meat industry. Oh,
Yeah.
Man beef. He makes the man beef.
Special meat.
You remember manbeef.com?
No, I don't think I
Hilarious early internet parody website that way too many people took seriously. Where it's basically just a website where it's like you can.
I'm typing loudly so everyone can know.
Yeah, it's just a thing where they had like a. Oh, of course it doesn't exist anymore.
I think
We're talking like
Cup would still be up.
Michelle, manbeef.com was like $19.99.
Yeah, yesterday.
So, Jesus Christ.
There's a website called manbeef.com that advertised human meat and detailed instructions on how to prepare it for consumption.
Yeah, and people, of course, well, and it was early Wild West interwebs, so there were no disclaimers or anything anywhere, and people just bought it hook, line. Do you remember Bonsai Kitten?
Yes, I try to forget Bonsai Kitten because I 100% believed Bonsai Kitten was real, and I was very upset about it. For people who might not know what Bonsai Kitten is, it was this thing where they would put a kitten in a glass jar and then feed it so that it would grow up kind of like a ship in a bottle, and this cat would be too big to get out of the bottle, aka Bonsai Kitten.
Didn't ever actually get done, by the way. It was a false thing.
It's so... But I was like 10 when I saw that for the first time. It fucking ruined me.
Really early examples of excellent Photoshop where whoever put it together did a great job. They had these pictures that legitimately looked like a glass jar that a cat was stuffed into so tight that it was filling But again, to me it was... And okay, fine, you were still young at that time, but what's hilarious about it to me is the number of people who were my age and older at the time who also were taken in by it. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Nobody's... And of course, it was an Asian-oriented thing, so of course, playing off people's racial stereotypes and that sort of thing, it's like, oh, well, I mean, they eat animals like that. Why wouldn't they stuff them in it? That doesn't fucking... Anyway. The halcyon days of the Wild West internet. SaveToby.com. It's good stuff.
SaveToby.com.
A guy put up a website called SaveToby.com where he took some pictures of a cute little bunny rabbit and told a story about how, like, one day we found this cute little bunny rabbit under my porch, and now unless we manage to collect $15,000 before this deadline, I'm going to kill and eat this rabbit. Oh, was it 50?
Wow.
Yeah. He's like, I love him and he's beautiful and he's the most genteel thing, and I swear to God I will kill and eat this rabbit if you don't give me $50,000. And
he collected $24,000.
Yes.
And then he wrote a book about it.
Yes.
The book made a new threat. If 100,000 copies of this book were not sold, Toby would be eaten at Thanksgiving dinner.
It's just the early... I think it's wild to me also that we've come far enough that there are these little bits of the fucking Wild West internet that people don't even remember anymore.
Yeah, I think Bonsai Kitten fucked me up so badly, which is funny because then as I got older, I was like, Rotten.com is my favorite website. So like I became a different person. But this is also, if you would like put a small human, aka a baby, in a jar and treat it like an animal, I might have cared a little bit more.
Oh yeah,
somehow.
Yeah.
Like
Bonsai Kitten is the kind of thing you found through the exact same channels you found, like, oh, here's crime scene footage from South America of a guy who jumped off a building and splattered all over the pavement.
So many beheadings. Rotten was full of beheadings. Really loved beheadings.
And that's the thing that I think maybe that's a very common thing that a lot of people outside those spheres like. Sometimes just all the different weird just gets piled together as weird, and that's not necessarily a good thing for most of us because we end up getting, it's like, okay, like I mean, did I go look at those things? Yes. Should I have been looking at those things at my age? At any age for that matter? Probably not. Probably not. I'll tell you, I was way, way, way too young the first time I ever watched a person die violently on the internet. So, wow, that got real deep all of a sudden.
I'm just thinking of all the really good videos of people dying that I've seen.
You saw
it
the
did
one.
make me-
I imagine you've seen the one where there's like the guy's just like his head is on the ground and they just like knife him right in the throat, and the guy's like got a boot on the side of his head.
I don't know. I've seen so many beheading videos. I
What?
don't even know.
See, oh god, this is the world we live in. What a fucking wild place
Yeah.
this episode went. Anyway, I got to go to work in a little while. We should. How much do we have left to talk about?
I just gotta say that technically, the company I work for is in the industrial industry, so I've gotten to visit some factories, and what I've seen on Reddit made me very fucking freaked out, and I followed every safety guideline 100% as I needed to.
Could you please elaborate on the industrial industry?
Well, I was going to say manufacturing industry, and then I panicked about whether that was too much information.
I know what you
because
mean, though. Yeah.
I know.
Like,
but see, again,
yeah.
like I panicked and I tried
Industrial
to jump ship.
manufacturing. Yeah.
Yes, industrial manufacturing. But I was like, oh shit, that might say too much about, because you guys, if you ever figure out where I work, I'm a different person. Business Michelle and casual Michelle are different fucking people. My coworkers know that.
Oh,
Some of them have seen me perform and have listened to this
Workday
podcast.
Michelle is a bitch.
Actually, I'm too nice, and my customer service voice is constantly going, because luckily I work remotely. So if somebody's trying actively to upset me, I can be like, well, I'm so sorry you feel that way. Perhaps we can reconvene after I've had a bit of time to look into this issue. Like, I'm very good at turning that voice on. And then I get on a call with my boss and I'm like, what the fuck was that? And she's like, I know, right? My boss is my favorite boss I've ever had.
Well, and you know, it's interesting. It's that one small skill there that's the reason you have consistent employment and I don't.
Yeah. I'm also just like really fucking good at what I do. Spreadsheets, I know how to pivot.
Well, yeah,
table.
but I mean, don't kid yourself. The ability to be able to like actually
Not lose my shit.
Yeah. I can't do that.
In my 4 years there, I have only thought about quitting twice. And that is a gigantic record for me.
Michelle, I thought about quitting my job twice last night.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have only thought about quitting twice.
I don't have anything against my job. So far, it's one of the best jobs I've ever had in my life. I thought about quitting twice last night. So
You're like, I don't want to do this shit anymore.
I'm
tired.
It's a job. It's a goddamn job. Anyway,
You have to
what
go
else do we
work.
have to talk about?
Well, you have to go to work instead of quitting your job.
Yeah, that's probably the smart way to do things.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play Death Stranding 2, even though I said I was done for the night.
Did you meet Margaret Qualley in Death Stranding 2 yet?
She's not in there. I thought she was. She's in the opening vignette. I mean, maybe she'll show up at the last minute. Some of the characters from the first one do show up. So far, I'm 75% done, and there is no Margaret Qualley.
All right, well, fuck, I gotta go to work. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Ugh, good night, Michelle.